What's going on, everyone? Welcome in to Forward Progress. It's the Thanksgiving Day Best Bets edition, part of the Hammer Betting Network, powered by Pinnacle Sportsbook. I am Rob Pizzola. I'm here with you for the next hour with a collection of guests from the Hammer Betting Network. What we're going to do here is give out our favorite bets for the day. We got Johnny from BetStamp, G-Stack George, ClevTA, Eric Eager, Clive Bixby, Fabian Sommer, Joey Knish, and even producer Jason is going to give out a pick at the end of the show. Could be on anything. Spread of a game, total, team total, teaser, player prop, game prop, whatever. We're going to go through the board with a collection of guests and give out our favorite plays. First and foremost, happy Thanksgiving to all of our American followers here on Forward Progress. Hope you have a great day today. Celebrate with the family, eat some turkey, have leftover turkey for the next 6 to 7 days, turkey sandwiches for days. I know how it goes. But I do want to remind everyone, it's 3 football games today. There's nothing worse than the guy who is sweating the football game in front of his entire family, throwing the remote control because he put down too much money on the game and can't control his feelings in front of his uncles and his aunts. Don't be that guy. Bet responsibly. We're giving out picks today. It's game day. Not all these are going to win. Some of them might lose. In fact, luckily we don't have Hitman on today, or else we'd guaranteed have one loser. We guaranteed have one loser. So bet responsibly. Second thing, if you're in Ontario, well, we're not celebrating Thanksgiving. We already had Canadian Thanksgiving back in October. But we do get to watch 3 football games. And if you are going to bet these football games, at least price shop. Do it smartly. Use a line comparison tool like BetStamp, but make sure that you actually have Pinnacle Sportsbook as part of your betting portfolio. Everyday competitive odds. If you're betting side and totals of games today, and you look across market, Pinnacle is going to have the best price on one of the sides or one of the totals. So bet smart, bet Pinnacle, your trusted sportsbook for the past 25 years, and use code HAMMER when signing up, as it does help support us here at Forward Progress. As a reminder, the chat is open for the show per usual. To get in on the chat, you must be subbed here on Forward Progress, so make sure you do so. Click that notification bell down below. And for all of you in here already, just make sure you hammer that like button down below. YouTube likes it. It elevates our content in real time. People can find it and watch it here on Thanksgiving. If you do have a favorite best bet of your own, drop it in the chat. And towards the end of the show, I'll kind of go through them and give my thoughts on what you are playing there. But let's not beat around the bush anymore. I know you're here for picks. Picks you shall get. And we're going to start off the show today. He's the CEO of BetStamp. He's my co-host on the Circles Off podcast. Johnny, how's it going?
What's up? Got the hat in play. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, you're all good.
Rob, happy Thanksgiving first off. Just everyone on the stream, take a second. Look how much stuff we have to be thankful for. 3 games, as always. This year we got the rare Friday game. Extra game tomorrow, college football all day. If you're a corporate America guy or corporate Canada guy, you're calling in sick today and tomorrow. Don't lie. It's been going around. Let's not. You know what I mean?
Let's just say, Johnny, a lot of my friends' kids might have illnesses today. They might be. A lot of my friends' kids are sick, homesick today.
Now, what you got to do is plant the seed a few days in advance. Oh, I have a little cough. I have a little fever so that it doesn't get suspicious all around. But let's get into it. Here's what I'm going to do for us today. I have historically given out some winners on these types of shows. I got one play, which is going to be my main play. And because it's Thanksgiving, I know you all want the long shots. I got a first touchdown scorer long shot in each game that I think has some value. So we'll go through those as well. I will unfortunately have to mark those as unofficial plays, though.
Okay,
I can't be staking my reputation.
No. The official record will go down on we're not. This is not Matthew Friedman coming on in the Super Bowl last year and giving like the kicker as an MVP at 300-1. Maybe there was some value there, but we don't want that as the official play.
Cannot. So my main play is the first game on the board. I've got David Montgomery. I don't like him in the receiving game anymore. So what happened this season was he was getting a few receptions a game. He was playing some third downs, got hurt. Gibbs emerged obviously as the, clearly the back that they're going to move forward with for years to come. And he's been now the receiving down back. So if you look at the usage, Montgomery is not getting any usage in the receiving game. Last week, he picked up some garbage time receiving yards at the end. Well, they were down. They hit him. He was able to break it. He actually got 2 receptions. So there's 2 ways we can approach this. Number 1 is under on the yards. Number 2 is under on the receptions. So for my official play, I'm giving out widely available, so you can get this anywhere. David Montgomery under 1.5 receptions. And right now, you're going to get this anywhere between minus 185 to minus 200. So let's go minus 190, official play. If you don't like laying the juice on minus 190s, then feel free to go with under 5.5 receiving yards. You can get that right now. You can see it over there. Well, so one shop that's notoriously known to potentially limit players would have 5 yards higher. So they got under 10.5. So if you got that at your disposal, I'd definitely take that bet. But more likely you wouldn't have that. You'd be going under 5.5. So my official play is under 1.5 receptions. Also like the under 5.5 receiving yards. I like the receptions more because I think, Montgomery's the type of guy where if he's in the backfield, he may actually catch one and break it for like a 13, 15 yard first down, where they're not necessarily expecting it. So go receptions there if you have to, but like the yards as well. And like I said, because it's Thanksgiving, I got 3 long shots. I don't know how much time I have, so I'm not going to go into too much detail.
Take your time. We want it. People like the rationale. We're okay on time.
All right. First game. We are going first touchdown scorer plus 2,900, Josh Reynolds, wide receiver for the Detroit Lions. All right. There's not necessarily anything I could say on rationale here because I don't want to give away too much, but this is typically the range I can say where I find the value in first touchdown scorers is going to be anywhere in the range of plus 2,500 to plus 5,000. The top of the board for those listening, I've done a ton of research. I've bet these for multiple seasons profitably. You're not going to find any value betting the Christian McCaffrey types where you're getting like a plus 400 in this game. That would be, guys like even Amon-Ra St. Brown, they're going to win. They're going to have the first touchdown sometimes, but at the odds you're getting, you're not finding value at the top of the board on first touchdown scorers in today's NFL. And typically you're not finding value at the bottom of the board, meaning the plus 10,000s, triple backup running back, third tight end. Those guys don't necessarily have value either for first touchdown scorer. I usually find the value in this range. Josh Reynolds plus 2,900. These are not official picks. And as Rob mentioned in the intro, these are likely to lose, right? You're betting a plus 2,900. It's probably going to lose. If it hits, you're good for 20, 30 more Thanksgivings if that hits, but it's probably going to lose. So if you're staking these and you're tailing me, appreciate you, but go low on the unit sizes, especially at this level. Second game, Washington, Curtis Samuel, receiver / offensive threat. Right now, plus 3,000 is the best you're going to find. And I'm giving actually out the major market book. So you should be able to get 2,900 on Josh Reynolds. You should be able to get 3,000 on Curtis Samuel. Same kind of rationale there. And then lastly, we'll go, this one's a mega long shot, but Seattle does start quick. And I like this guy. He's been not great as of late, but this season has been getting some plays in, especially in the red zone. Jake Bobo, plus 5,000 on Seattle. So those are my 3 picks. I got Reynolds, Samuel, and Bobo for first touchdown scorers. All very likely to lose. I'm likely to go 0-3 here, but all it takes is one. If I hit Bobo, I'm good for 51 more Thanksgivings. And that's all you can really ask for at this point. So those are my official picks. I'm looking forward to the rest of the stream and seeing if I get any agreement, disagreements, and tailing some more picks, firing some bets.
You know what? It's a absolutely pro move to fire out long shots every now and then, because if they win, we can victory lap them home like I've done a few times this year. And if they lose, we just forget that they ever existed and we fall back on the official play. So it's a classic professional content move by Johnny.
All right. And if Reynolds wins, I'm gonna hop back into whatever version, or somehow I'll victory lap this through you because I'm not on Twitter, but we'll have to fire double unit size on the rest if Reynolds wins.
There we go. Johnny from BetStamp likes David Montgomery under 1.5 receptions, a little bit juiced, but he's using that as the official play. And remember, people, juice doesn't matter if the play wins. I say that as a joke, by the way, for those that do not understand the joke. Johnny from BetStamp. Check out our podcast, Circles Off. It's on YouTube. If you're not sub there, sub there. Johnny, all the best, man. Thanks for joining this morning.
Cheers, guys. Best of luck.
All right. Johnny from BetStamp. All right. David Montgomery, unders. I like it. I like the first touchdown props as well. He did mention Curtis Samuel at like simultaneous release with ClevTA on Curtis Samuel as well. That might be like the universe is aligning on Curtis Samuel. I'm a Cowboys fan, though. I don't want to see that shit happen. All right, let's keep it moving. You recognize him here from the Forward Progress channel, where he's hosting on Mondays and Tuesdays. He's part of the live watch-alongs every single week. He's also the host of the 90 Degrees podcast. G-Stack George.
Good morning, Rob.
How's it going?
I know you're probably wondering, and so is the audience, does he wake up like this? No, I've showered unlike the other George in gambling Twitter. I am ready for some morning content.
I love that. Just firing bullets right away. Yeah, a good shower in the morning. Can't beat that, man. Full day without showering is tough now, especially when you're spending your time around prostitutes. You might want to have a shower.
You're gonna wash off your stank from last night, right?
Yeah, I would say showering after being in the presence of prostitutes, generally a plus EV move. I'm not saying that was G-Stack's night last night. I don't know.
No, this is just general advice. There's definitely at least one of the people watching today was doing that last night.
Yeah. You get something nice this week because you're a Dolphins fan, and you get like a standalone game tomorrow, Black Friday. Are you typically go out shopping on Black Friday, and like now you're gonna have to come home early for Dolphins, or you just what's the plan?
No, you know what? I was an online shopping convert like years ago. Once I figured out why go out and shop for everything when you can literally just fire off a bunch of orders from your phone and everything arrives to your house. So I was already staying in the house. This is a bonus game. I'm excited that we get to play on Friday.
All right. What do you think is going to happen in the Friday game? Like, should I even ask you? Is it worth asking a Homer Dolphins fan what's going to happen in the game?
Have I ever given out a single pick on the Dolphins? I have never advocated to bet on the Dolphins. I think if that line gets under 9, I think a teaser is a really smart option for the Dolphins. Outside of that, I have no interest in it. I don't know what Tim Boyle's going to look like. And Tua sometimes makes 1 or 2 big mistakes a game. So I just expect a win. That's all.
All right. And we expect you to win.
That's what I'm planning to do. I'm planning on doing that.
You're coming with today. It could be anything. Could be spread, money line, total, teaser, game prop, player prop, whatever you want to do. George, the floor is yours. Thanksgiving Day bet. Best bet. What's it going to be?
See, I like buying teams at their lowest point, Rob, and selling teams at their highest point. I'd argue this is Washington at their low, a game where they lost against the New York Giants and Tommy DeVito. They won the first down battle nearly 2-1. They win the yardage battle. They lose the turnover battle 6-0. The Cowboys, on the other hand, 2 straight blowout wins. 3 of their last 4 games have been blowout wins. Their combined winning margin in those 3 games are 78 points. They're blowing teams out by 26. So why am I comfortable this will be different? No offense to Carolina and the Giants and the Rams with a banged up Stafford who smashed his thumb in that game. The Commanders' offense is better than all 3 of those. The Commanders have been blown out twice this year against the Bills and the Bears. Both times they followed up the following week. in tight games, either losing by a field goal in overtime or winning outright by 8. In fact, I wanted to get a little situational for this game. I wanted to talk about how Washington is a bit of a road warrior and they get prepped to go on the road. In 6 road games this year, they're 5-1 against the spread, 5-0 when they're getting points, and they're the dog on the road. They were a 3.5-point dog. They won outright. 8.5-point dog. They lost by 3 in overtime. 1.5-point dog, won outright by 8. 3-point dog, won outright by 3. 6-point dog, lost by 3. I expect both offenses to move the ball well. The Cowboys' avenue is obviously through the air. Washington's secondary really got exposed against the Giants and Tommy DeVito, especially for like big chunk plays. I think Washington will also move the ball well with a mix of the screen game. And Sam Howell is going to be sneaky option here, and I kind of like his rushing over here. Whenever the Cowboys defenders break contain and over pursue for the sack, I think Howell's going to tuck and run up the middle. And if all else fails, Rob, and Washington is down by 20 in the fourth quarter, while the Cowboys have their foot off their gas and they're thinking about that big turkey dinner that they're going to have when they get home, big Sammy Howell going to walk through that back door for me. I also got a Thanksgiving parlay, but Washington plus 13.5 is my bet. And it's widely available, 13.5. I don't know if it gets to 14, and maybe it does, and maybe you want to wait. I'm comfortable betting it at 13.5. I have a Thanksgiving parlay. This is not to be tracked. There's nothing to track, but parlay this, okay? Slice open a dinner roll, put some prime rib on there, some mashed potatoes on top, and a little cran. And there's your Thanksgiving parlay. That's the plus EV move of the week.
I'm with you, man. I've spoken ad nauseum before about my disdain for turkey, which I'll eat turkey, but come on, people. Like, we don't have to all pretend that turkey's amazing and that, like, oh, depending on the way you cook it, it's going to be a million times better. We don't have to do this dog and pony show again. We don't. Also, George, I do appreciate the fact that you, like Johnny, threw out a secondary play, which is not going to count towards your official record today, but I know that you will victory lap it till the end of time if it does win. A classic professional content creator move on Sam Howell rushing yards over, which we can talk about tonight if it gets there. And if it doesn't, we will just pretend it never happened.
Absolutely. Never strike it from the record.
Of course. And as Patrick says, reminder, turkey is a trash bird. Turkey is a trash bird. All right, George. All the best, man. Enjoy the football today. Thanks for stopping by. All right. We're going to keep things moving here. You see him here on Forward Progress on Mondays, recapping the weekend, looking ahead to the upcoming week. You can check out his website, cleveanalytics.com. ClevTA. Next up here on Thanksgiving Best Bets. How's it going, TA?
What's up, Rob? How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Just as you were sending out your Curtis Samuel first TD bet, Johnny from BetStamp was on here giving out Curtis Samuel first TD bet. I feel like the universe is aligning here today, TA.
Did he really? I knew he snuck into my Telegram chat at some point. I knew it. He's got undercover Twitter accounts. He's got undercover Telegram accounts. It all makes sense. What do you guys do in Canada, by the way, on Thanksgiving? Do you guys just kind of make fun of everybody else in the U.S.? Or do you guys what do you do?
Well, so we have Canadian Thanksgiving in October, which makes a lot more sense. I'm just going to throw it out there. I know the harvest happens at different times over the course of the year, but it's nice to have the gap between Thanksgiving and Christmas. You Americans are going Thanksgiving, boom, immediately into Christmas. It's too much too much family in a short span. Like, it's nice to see your long lost uncles and whatever, once every few months, but you put them back to back November, December. No one really wants to do that. So we watch football, basically, TA. We thank Americans for their Thanksgiving so that we could all pretend we're sick today, stay home from work, and watch football. That's the Canadian tradition.
Is that how you became a Cowboy fan? Because you just didn't have anything to do on Thanksgiving? They were always on TV? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
I became a Cowboys fan because my father when I was growing up, my father hated the Cowboys. Hated them, despised them, used to root against them in every single game. So I naturally, being a shit disturber of a child, decided I'm going to root for the Cowboys. And I thought this was great in the 90s when we had, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, Russell Maryland. Like, everything was great. I didn't know that I would be suffering pain for the last 20 years, basically.
You didn't enjoy the Dave Campo and Quincy Carter days? That wasn't the peak of your fandom? Okay.
It's the first time I thought about that in the last 15, 20 years. Thank you very much for bringing that stuff up. We're going to just try to wipe that from my memory. But TA, we've got 2 bets so far, one from Johnny, one from Stack George. You can go anywhere on the board today. Side, total, teaser, game prop, player prop, whatever you want to do. Your favorite bet remaining on the board today and why?
Well, Johnny stole my Curtis Samuel first TD, so I was going to give that as a bonus. That wouldn't count on my results unless it wins, of course. So, but I'll go with the over in the Washington-Dallas game, 48.5 across the board. So you don't really need to price shop this one. A little late to the party. It opened lower and got bet up. Still think there's value. This is just this Washington team has not been priced correctly all year. They have the single largest gap in their over-unders versus the actual points scored in their games. It's almost 8 points per game. So the market hasn't caught up. The Cowboys are actually 4th on that list at 4 points over. So, both teams are scoring well above, or just their games in general have been, scored well above expectations. And just, the matchup here is tremendous. You've got a Washington team. Both teams throw the ball a ton over expectations. I mean, Eric Bieniemy, all he does is throw the ball. And that is conducive, obviously, for offense on Washington's side. But, this playmaking defense on Dallas' side, you can create a lot of turnovers and turn those into touchdowns as well. So, the ball will be in the air a lot on both sides. And then this Washington team actually steps up against good competition. I mean, they scored 31 points twice against Philly, scored 26 against Seattle. So, they are capable, and they have shown the ability to step up. Dallas has actually faced a really easy schedule of opponents. They actually faced the single easiest schedule of opposing quarterbacks. When you look at EPA, they've only faced 3 top 30 quarterbacks when it comes to EPA, which is incredible at this point of the season. And Purdy and Hurts were 2 of them. They put up 2 of their best games of the whole season. So, when you're facing guys like Mac Jones and Zach Wilson and Bryce Young and Tommy DeVito and Daniel Jones, your numbers are going to be padded a little bit if you're the Dallas defense. So I do think, the Sam Howell is, a little bit of a step up for that defense, and they can score on them. And then you look at the Commanders' defense; it's just a joke. I mean, ever since they traded Montez Sweat and Chase Young, their pressure rate has predictably plummeted. They are losing. They're missing 2 more defensive ends, rotational defensive ends, due to injury today. So they're really thin from a pass rush standpoint. I mean, Dak should have all day to score on this defense. And the secondary has been picked apart by any good offense that they've faced. I mean, they've faced 5 top 17 EPA offenses, which is a pretty, that's a pretty large and wide net that we're casting here. We're not even talking about the elites, top 17 offenses, and they've allowed 33, 37, 34, 38, and 29 points in those games. They are giving up points to anybody with a pulse. And this Dallas offense has just destroyed everybody at home. We know all the numbers, but the last 9 home games, they're averaging 40 points per game. You got CeeDee Lamb, who's one of the best receivers in the NFL, going up against a Washington defense that's given up the most yardage to number 1 receivers in the NFL and the worst DVOA to number 1 receivers. This environment's very conducive for a lot of points. So I have this closer to 51 personally. So I'm a little bit higher than the market. So again, you always hate to take an over in a kind of an island game like this, but I just think that the market's been wrong on both sides for both teams, and there's going to be a lot of throwing, and it's just there's a lot of weapons out there for both sides. I just think it just makes a lot of sense to grab this over, and hopefully it'll be over by halftime, so you don't have to worry about the second half. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, that was a great handicap altogether. I agree and echo a lot of what you said there, and I'm kind of surprised that this is, I mean, scoring is generally down in the NFL this year, so I get it. It's been suppressed, but this to me, smells of a game where the floor for Dallas's offense is 30 points. Honestly, it's weird to say that in a game, but that just feels like the floor for their offense. So I'm with you on this one, TA. I played this myself. Wish you all the best. with your best bet on the show today, and all the best to the family. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours.
Thanks, Rob. I appreciate it.
All right. It's ClevTA. Check out his site, cleveanalytics.com. Lots of good tidbits on there. So far, 3 bets, 1 player prop, Montgomery under 1.5 receptions. We had G-Stack give out the Commanders plus 13.5. Feels like this is the low point in market for this Washington team. Also like a little side bet on Sam Howell rushing yards over. ClevTA on the Commanders and Cowboys over 48.5. Now let's keep it moving here. You see him regularly here. Best bets on Forward Progress on the Wednesday show. Typically, he'd be on Thursday afternoons, but instead, Thursday morning, it's the VP of Suuma Sports. Check out the website, suumersports.com. I use it regularly on a weekly basis. Lots of good stuff on there. I see the hashtag restore it. You got to be excited for the Lions early game today, Eric.
I am. It's fun. We've seen some market movement towards Detroit this morning, from off of 7.5 to 8.5 or so. That's a crazy sight to see after decades of mediocrity.
I mean, I can't even tell you. Like my Thanksgiving memories are always, and this is no joke. Yeah, I go back to when I was like way more of a recreational bettor in my 20s, early 20s. I'd be sitting in like a lab at school, university, Thanksgiving Day, trying to make a case for the Lions in the early game. Like always, Lions are a dog. How are they going to? They suck, but they're playing the Patriots, and this line is way too high. Patriots inflated. My lasting memory of Thanksgiving will always be losing bets to start the day on the Detroit Lions. And today's not going to be one.
Yeah, I remember like 15 years ago when the Titans were like undefeated and they went into Detroit, and like Lendell White's fat ass ran for like 50 yards and just got up and just started laughing at the camera at how bad the Lions were. Yeah, there's a lot of like futility in this day for Detroit fans, but hopefully that's over. Although it's different that I'm going to actually bet against that to a certain extent with this one.
Okay, I'll get into your best bet in just 1 second. But because I don't want to anoint you the king of defensive player bets, because there's lots of people who do it out there, but it's one thing that you like to do. And I saw Fries in the chat say Bobby Wagner over 9.5 tackles and assists, minus 105. Smashed it for years, going to continue to ride the Hall of Famer. So Bobby Wagner now part of that Seahawks defense against the 49ers. Gut feel on Bobby Wagner 9.5.
Oh, good question. If it's tackles and assists, which I'm assuming it is, let's look at some splits for old Bobby. The last few games, yeah, I mean 10, 10, 9, 13, 9. Early in the year, 18 and 10 and 17. So yeah, I feel like at that price, it's worth a shot, especially given the 49ers are gonna, probably run the ball a lot, and since they're favorites, they're probably gonna run the ball more than usual. So
bingo.
Not a bad look for our friend there.
You get the Dr. Eric Eager, MD professional endorsement on the Bobby Wagner over. 3 bets so far on the Best Bet show. Official bets, I should say. Everyone's just kind of ripping a second bet because they know it's not going to count. Classic Forward Progress hammer creators over here. But we've gotten a player prop. We've gotten an NFL side. We've got an NFL total. I believe you're going to a player prop, correct?
Yeah. So when I look at Jordan Love and where he's been kind of the whole season. So right now you have market projection for passing attempts, 32.5, 33.5, somewhere around there. Not incredibly high for the NFL, probably median or so. But then you have his interception prop, and depending upon where you look, under a half of an interception is 3-2 in a lot of places, even higher than that in some places as well. Like I do all the modeling on these interception props and stuff for fantasy, but also just for betting, and it's like I can't get to a place where Jordan Love is anywhere close to minus 150 fair to throw an interception. So I'm going to go under here, even though it is, it's obviously less than 50% to hit. I think that Jordan Love has been pretty good at protecting the ball last few games. Last week, no interceptions. Steelers game, again, he was plus 150. threw an interception at the very, very end of the game. So that one stung a little bit, but I do think he takes care of the ball, sufficiently well enough for this price to be off.
Beautiful thing about betting in Ontario, plus 158 at Pinnacle on no interception for Jordan Love. By far the best price in market. We're going to go ahead and we're going to lock that in for you, Eric. I know you're trying to ruin Thanksgiving with us having to root for no Jordan Love interception. Like the Grinch is supposed to wait till Christmas, not for Thanksgiving. I don't know.
It's going to be a grind, but look, like, even like G-string George can be like, if Jordan Love were to get hit and get a concussion or something like that, right? Like that's wheelhouse.
So now we've resorted to rooting for injuries already.
I'm not rooting for injuries. I'm just saying, like, there's a tail event that G-stack George. Like, I'm trying to make people happy here too.
Well, I mean, this ain't gonna do it. Rooting for no interception for the entirety of a game is the exact opposite of making. If they win the bet, they'll be happy at the end. But
it's never a bet that you're happy about. Even like let's say the Packers were to get up in this game and just like run out the clock. Even then, you still have like a little bit of a concern.
Just because I want to test your NFL knowledge, I'll put you on the spot here. If Jordan Love were to get hurt today, who's coming in for the Green Bay Packers?
Oh, it is Penn State legend, who had an awful college career, so I don't know how he's in the league. Sean Clifford,
you nailed it. Not many people would have got that. Could it be a Thanksgiving miracle to see Sean Clifford in today? Eric would cash it. Well, actually, it's not necessarily mean you would cash your bet, because there's still outcomes where Love would throw a pick and then get hurt. That would be the most miserable of outcomes. But I mean, George says it. Eric was always a scumbag. We always knew it. Well,
I might not be a scumbag, but I speak the language of a scumbag.
Got it. Not a true. You're almost there. You're converting slowly. Too much time around George will get you there.
So one question I have before I go, in the square parlay where people are gonna, like, obviously there's a tease Detroit, tease San Francisco today if you want the day-long sweat. But obviously, some people are going to throw Dallas in there as well, right? Just to increase the payout. Which one of those legs fails?
If I had to pick, I think San Fran is the most likely to fail. Seattle's not like a lot of this is like Gino's arm is injured and he didn't practice this week and he's dealing with a triceps pain, and you might get a situation where actually none of that mattered and Gino's perfectly fine. Does that mean they're going to win the game? No. But I think a lot of the betting towards San Fran this week and the lack of any sort of market resistance is based off of that. So that would be the one I'd say is most likely. But I'm kind of with G-Stack. I think the Dallas number has gone a little bit too far as well. There's like a lot of range of outcomes where Sam Howell can lead, a come from behind teaser, drive type of situation. So
right.
I don't see Detroit losing, but it's the NFL, man. I've watched this for years.
Yeah, you look at the injury reports for Green Bay versus Detroit. It's understandable to see the money here. I mean, Dallas is like last, a couple of years ago against Vegas. That was a weird loss in the middle of a Vegas swoon. And, we've just seen it over with Dallas, even though they're a great football team. We've just seen that can be a privilege for a game.
You sure can. Hopefully Thanksgiving is a privilege in a good way for you today, Eric, not the way where you got a drunk uncle making a scene or something like that. So hopefully all good. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. Thank you very much for stopping in. Everyone, check out SumerSports.com. You won't regret it. There's lots of good stuff on there, lots of visuals. So check it out. Thank you.
See you tonight, Rob.
All right. Eric will be back tonight. A reminder, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I'm live for Seahawks and 49ers. It's a live watch along per usual. I know it's Thanksgiving. If you can't make it, you can't make it. What are you going to do? But if you're going to watch the game, you might as well watch it with me and a collection of cronies here at the Hammer, including Eric Eager, G-Stack George, Ian McMillan, Jeff Feinberg tonight. So join me for the 49ers and Seahawks later tonight. Keeping it moving here. You see them Sunday nights here on Forward Progress with myself, recapping the week that was, locking in value on opening lines for the upcoming week. It's Clive Bixby from his newly renovated house. How's it going, Clive?
What's up, everyone? Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I mean, it's great Thanksgiving if you're serving Thanksgiving at that place. Beautiful fireplace, a big, nice open entrance to the place. It'd be a great spot to be hosting.
Knish doesn't have the address here. He's not getting in.
He's not getting it. What do you do? What are you doing for Thanksgiving today? You're what, in Jersey?
Yeah, so Jersey. I'll probably make the trip in a little bit. Go see some family, watch some football, eat some overrated turkey. That's just how it goes.
So you are on that bandwagon. You're on the overrated. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had the people tell you that you haven't cooked the turkey the right way? You're not doing this, you're not doing that. That these people, they just don't get it.
Yeah, it's, give me an Italian Thanksgiving. My mom used to do like a lasagna, some other good pastas and things like that. Like that's a good Thanksgiving to me.
Listen, however people want to celebrate their Thanksgiving, it's your own prerogative. You do what you want. I'm just never going to get off the hill until somebody cooks me the world's greatest turkey, which is still going to be like having chicken, basically. I'm going to die on this hill. I'm not going to get off of it. All right. we got to get a best bet. So far we got 2 props, an NFL side, full game total. And you're going team total? From what I understand. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I wanted to give something that was going to, that's still available. I mean, there's other bets that were, liked during the week, but numbers have moved. Like the Green Bay Detroit total was one of them. We talked about it on Forward Progress. I thought that was a good over candidate. I think that moved from 45.5 now to 47.5. So I don't want to give that out. So I figured let's give out something that helps with the watch along too. So we got the 49er team total over 26.5 minus 110 available pretty widely.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what I'm going with. Part of the reason is, Seattle, if you look at their defense in aggregate, looks like a league average defense, right? But when you take a look at what their outcomes were in stretches of games, I think they've had some good defensive stats against really, really bad offenses, and then have gotten smoked by some very good methodical offenses. So that's where I'm going.
All right. I mean, I would like to see some points in the game tonight.
Sure.
Make it a little bit more interesting. Although I don't want to blow out. So we have to get like a decent amount. Pinnacle offering 24.5 minus 124, roughly the same equivalent of 26.5 minus 110 as well, because 25 and 26 don't happen all too often. But we're going to go ahead and play that San Francisco team total over for you. And happy Thanksgiving, Clive. I'll talk to you again on Sunday night. Enjoy it.
Peace out, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. Good luck with the bets.
Try to get that turkey down. Clive Bixby, everyone. Clive Bixby. All right. Will we get a Circles Off episode today? Yes. Circles Off episode is dropping 4 p.m. Eastern time per usual on YouTube, in podcast form, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We had a guest on this week, a very young guy who is way ahead of his age in terms of sports betting. Goes by @GiantsBadgers on Twitter. Still a university student in Maryland who is actually starting to move action for some larger groups now. So very different type of discussion. Hopefully you enjoy it, but that's dropping at 4 p.m. Eastern time today. Some bets over the course of the day. Deron Bland over half defensive interception. I mean, he is very, very aggressive, extremely aggressive in trying to intercept balls. 4 pick sixes already this year, which is unheard of. Obviously, I don't see a price attached to it. I don't know what it is, but I don't hate somebody for taking that shot. Love pass attempts over 32.5. Okay, very interesting. And honestly, you do have like the tail outcome, like Eric mentioned, where potentially you get some sort of injury or something like that. But the expectation is that, especially with the way that the market is moving towards the Lions, is that Green Bay is trailing. And I like that one, Patrick. I don't know about free money on Gibbs TD minus 120. I'd say that there's no such thing as free money. But Gibbs TD, I mean, yeah, sure. I do agree with Johnny in what he said when he came on earlier about the guys at the top end of the scale. You're just not going to find generally good prices or advantageous prices on them to score touchdowns. If we convert minus 120 to a probability, it's 54.5%. If you think it's over 54.5%, go and play it, but it's rare that you're going to find people that are in that range on a weekly basis. But good luck on the bet anyways, no matter what. And we're going to move on here and keep the run going with a pro NFL bettor live from Dusseldorf. It is carnival season in Germany. Suuma, oh God, you haven't burned that sweater yet, man?
No, man. I mean, tomorrow we are gonna smash the Dolphins. So gotta keep the mojo coming. Tim Boyle season.
Yeah, there might be a smashing that happens in the game. It's doubtful that it's going to be the Jets smashing the Dolphins. Am I correct? It's Carnival season, right, in Germany now?
It is, yes, but yes, you are always saying I'm from Dusseldorf, but I'm still 1 hour away. So it's not really carnival season in my place here.
Got it.
But friends of mine who live in Dusseldorf and Cologne, they are going nuts since I think 11/11.
Yeah. I mean, what's going nuts? Just it's like a regular German week, right? Drinking a lot of beer and pissing in random
Basically
spots.
a regular. Yes, exactly. I mean, 11/11 this year it fell on a Saturday. So I mean, there were like hundreds of thousands of people in Cologne, I guess, like in the whole town celebrating Carnival. So that was nuts, I guess.
Yeah, one day I'd like to make it for Oktoberfest because I see those videos every year of just people getting absolutely trashed and like pissing all over the place, like they just, and people just walking through it like it's normal,
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's normal.
German culture, man. German culture.
Yes.
All right, Suuma, let's get into your favorite bet for the day today. We've been all over the board here, but if you're going to play one thing on today's card, what is it that you want to play?
I would grab a 6-point teaser with the Detroit Lions down to -2 and the 49ers. I guess some spots will have -1. Now I make this game slightly above 7. If it closes 7.5, still some CLV on the teaser. I think it's a smash spot teaser leg for the Lions because they have a phenomenal matchup against the Packers, like Jared Goff against the Packers defense. Packers gonna stop the run. They won't be able to contain the passing game of Detroit. So I'm expecting a healthy offensive dose from the Lions. And then on the other side, yes, Lions defense is completely overrated. They are not good at all. But I just don't see the Packers hanging that many points that they make it like a final scoring drive kind of game in the end. I think the Lions should get this one home. So I'm really in love with the teaser leg. And on the other side, 49ers, I think they also have an incredible matchup in general. Seahawks defense completely overrated in my opinion. Seahawks have been stopping the run out of nickel personnel all season long. Good luck against the 12-21 personnel from the Niners today. I think the Niners will score. And then on the other side, Geno Smith and that offense, they have really performed at a below average level since like week 4 or something. We are still remembering like the Lions game, for example, but over the past couple of weeks, it was pretty underwhelming. Kenneth Walker, him on and off the field is not great for the Seahawks when he's not on the field, especially for the passing game. So Geno Smith, there's still some potential downside with his triceps injury. Maybe he will lack a little bit of that zip on deep balls. We don't know exactly, but that's a potential downside. So I also like the teaser like Detroit and 49ers in great matchup spots.
Okay. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Obviously, Detroit's like the more standard tease through 7-3 type of situation, home team, which is a lot of like the Wong teaser strategy there. San Fran, obviously a lot of upside. Great point about the personnel that Seattle uses to stop the run as well, which is interesting. A lot of people don't get into that stuff. So Suuma going with 6-point teaser, Lions and 49ers. It'll be popular today. With that said, popular sometimes wins as well. So Suuma, all the best. Hopefully your buddies enjoy Carnival over there. And
Yes.
I mean, I can't even, I guess I could wish you a happy Thanksgiving, but neither of us is celebrating Thanksgiving today. So it's just like a moot
I mean,
point.
it's my personal Thanksgiving because I can watch football starting at like 6:30 p.m. my time on a weekday. So that's enough for me.
There we go. There we go. Fabian Sommer, everyone. Thank you, Suuma. Have a good one. All right. Fabian Sommer. Interesting handicap of the game. Makes a lot of sense to me. Makes a lot of sense to me. Graham, 6:30 a.m. Pacific listening to 6:30 a.m. Pacific, listening to football. Gambling is incredible. Thank you, Forward Progress. Appreciate you, Graham. Thank you very much. I didn't really appreciate having to wake up this early. I'm not a morning guy. I'm a night owl, as is our next guest. He's a semi-pro sports bettor. He's one part of the dynamic duo with Brad Powers on Hit the Books, Mondays and Fridays. He's also a sad, irrational, emotional Lions fan. Joey Knish.
I tell you what.
What is this? Are you in bed still?
I tell you what, there better be a little extra, a little extra OT in the check this week for this. I don't know how Moretto got me to agree to this, but
dude, you're on Eastern time. It's 9:48 Eastern. It's not like we asked you to come on at 6:48.
I mean, 9:48 might as well be 6:48 for old Joey K here. I'm trying to switch the clock back, but it's a process. It's a painful process.
You guys don't get sunlight in Detroit? Like
I got the blackout curtains. I got the blackout curtains just to because when you sleep in a little bit, you got to make sure that it doesn't. Here, hold on. There we go.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh,
you missed a prime opportunity to get like a Detroit Lions comforter and pillows.
I got some like a Lions. I don't know where it's at, but I gotta. Yeah, I need a little something to spice it up in here.
All right. Well, I'm going to be very clear before we get into the pick here. There will be no holiday pay for you for today. You agreed to this under your own free will.
Moretto guaranteed, at least a couple BTC here.
Moretto doesn't sign the checks, bud. Moretto don't sign the checks. I mean, we can maybe transfer some from Moretto's paycheck directly to your account. Maybe that's the way we got to do it.
That feels appropriate.
What's your Thanksgiving look like, man? You got people over your place? You heading out? You just staying home and watching football? Like, what's the deal today?
I tell you what, it's so the family usually does because my sister goes to her brother-in-law's house today, so the family does our Thanksgiving Friday. So today it's NFL from the second I get out of this bed into the second I get back in it. So
and basically you're gonna get out of bed at like 12:29 p.m. Eastern time, like a minute before kick, right?
Was gonna say, I figure probably after this excruciating, taking up my getting up early, I probably need a couple more hours to get clear.
Well, I'll say this: there's only one person that failed to fill out our Thanksgiving prop bet sign-up sheet. I'm going in blind with whatever you're going to give out here.
Yeah.
Because apparently you don't read the company emails.
I don't.
You're too good to fill out the bet beforehand so we could create like a little banner for the bet so producer Jason can get things ready for you. We don't know. Flying blind, Knish. But the people need to know, what is Knish's favorite bet on the Thanksgiving board today? Did we just lose? I think we just lost the guy. This can't even be real life. It can't even be real life. We got him back.
I'm back. I
He's
didn't
figured
know.
out the technology. Yes.
Yeah, I'm on my phone. I didn't know. I couldn't look at the spreads while I'm also streaming here from the phone. So that was making it. I think I got Moretto on mute, so that might be why I didn't see the email or the tag here to get it.
Can you see the screen now? We've opened up some spreads here. If you want to see,
yeah,
we can click into player props for you. We can give you the full service if you want.
Listen, here's what you do. Here's all you need. You don't need to get fancy with the player props. Lay it with the Lions. Listen. We've served you up the greatest Thanksgiving Day present you could want. It's Green Bay with about 800 injuries and a team that's trash, getting under a touchdown. Throw it in a teaser. Throw it, but juice 7 alt spread into -9.5, -13.5. Let me tell you something. But listen, you gotta lay the money line. Get your whatever you got for your Thanksgiving spread. If you haven't bought it yet, put it on the money line. Then go get yourself some extra nice, pecan pie or the honey ham that you couldn't afford, whatever it is. Do it like, go Big D, baby. Go, if you're down a little bit, just 10x yourself on the Lions today, and go there. But no, seriously, listen. I laid the Lions. I laid that, not even in like I laid some 7. Little bit of sprinkles on the alt spread, got it in a few teasers. Think they roll today, so I don't need to get fancy with the props, baby. Old school spreads, just like Corralo Bob. Don't need the alt spreads. Just give me the real line.
I got an option for you.
Yeah.
So the Lions money line today, for those that it's expensive. A lot of people don't want to put down a bunch of money to win nothing. But you know what you could do, Knish? You could take Lions money line. You can add it to a parlay leg.
Yeah.
With Lions money line next week at the Saints.
Oh.
Which is -155 right now. You get yourself some double Lions in a parlay.
I tell you what,
down.
I don't like giving you a lot of credit, but that, my friend, is quite the idea. Extended week, Saints, terrible. Man, I heard Derek Carr's health. That's probably a good thing. Probably good. Hey, listen, I'd rather face him than Jameis. So, the double, and you get yourself invested in 2 weeks of Lions. I mean, it doesn't really get better than that in the NFL right now.
It would play plus 103, baby. Lions.
I mean, plus 103, baby. I tell you what. Pinnacle, was that a Pinnacle?
It can be.
Well, I was gonna listen. I was gonna give me a Pinnacle hat if they're paying plus 103 on those two, because listen, Penny's gonna have to. I might be crossing the border today to
You won't be able to do that. There was like some sort of terrorist thing at the border yesterday. Some guy drove a car into.
Yeah, I saw
blew
that.
up.
But
yeah,
are they still all locked down?
It was yesterday. It's really sad that the first thought I had of that whole thing was like, well, I guess Knish ain't crossing the border in the next few days.
I've got
car blew up at the border, and it's like, well, it's too bad for Knish. Can't come into Canada.
Yeah, I've got like 4 messages that thankfully I wasn't on the other side when this happened. I'd be, crashing at your. I'd be doing it in studio right now. I'd be, sleeping in the basement.
Well, I wouldn't allow you in my house, even on Thanksgiving. All right, Knish, we'll let you get back to sleep. You obviously, based off the way you look now, need your beauty sleep. So we'll let you go back to that.
Gentlemen, go Lions, baby. And I look forward to the Lions double dip.
There we go. Joey Knish, everyone, live from his bedroom in suburban Detroit. All right. That was something else. Never know with that guy. You really never know. Before I get into my favorite bet for the day, which is kind of an ugly one, but I think it's actually a pretty substantial edge. Producer Jason, if you want to hop on here, I'm not going to get you to give an official best bet because you gave one on the show yesterday. We're trying to mock Hitman, trying to get you to one win. But anything that that you've played today that you think maybe is worth dabbling in a little bit?
So there were, excuse me, sorry, there were a couple plays that I played today, mainly in the first game. I played 2 first TD props. Neither of them, unfortunately, are available now. That seem to have moved right now. But I played Ben Sims first touchdown. It was 125-1 at one point. Ben Sims, for those who don't know, is I think the 4th string tight end for the Green Bay Packers.
Technically, yes. So like Luke Musgrave is on IR, and Josiah DeGuara is out or not, doubtful to play today. So technically, he'd be number 2 tight end for today's game.
Exactly, and that was part of the logic, right? Right when we saw that Musgrave was out for sure, DeGuara was, it seemed to be doubtful. Went in and hit that. I also hit, I can't remember the other tight end's name, Tucker Kraft. Yeah, Tucker Kraft at like 50-1 first TD. They both had the anytime TD available at like 14-1 and 11-1 respectively. Ben Sims still has the 11-1 available. But I'm going to pivot on the fly here, Rob. And one thing I've noticed for these games is that they're all big spreads, right? Very obvious stuff here. Okay. And one thing I wanted to make sure is that if I was going to give something out, it's available right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of hedge ourselves against watching some really bad football and some really big blowouts. And we're going to go to the Dallas game, and we're going to go to the San Fran game, right? For the Dallas game, we're going to take Rico Dowdle, last touchdown, at 15-1.
Yep.
And then for the San Fran game, we're going to take Elijah Mitchell, last touchdown, 28-1. Give you a little bit of a sweat as the game kind of winds down, as your Thanksgiving winds down. And hopefully, if it's a blowout, give you something to cheer for there.
Okay, we'll have to make sure Dowdle ends up being, he's probably going to be active today. He's listed as questionable. He's very likely going to be active. So just make sure before you place that bet. But I like that. Hedging against the blowout by still having something to root for in the blowout game. Makes a lot of sense, Jason. What doesn't make sense to me is your Ray Lewis jersey that you're wearing.
I just scrambled to grab something out of the closet as soon as possible, and I got the birds mixed up. So I had a Seahawks jersey, and I just grabbed the Ravens jersey. It's just early morning. Didn't have my coffee. So
let's be hopeful that you don't murder this Thanksgiving prop show with some bad bets like Ray Lewis may or may not have murdered in the past.
Allegedly.
May or may not have murdered. All right. Before I get into my play, we got 73 likes on the stream. We got a couple hundred people watching. 2 seconds. Honestly, just smash that like button down below. It's going to be a lot of people waking up like Knish in the next hour or so. And they'll be able to catch us stuff. If YouTube says, here you go. So just smash that like button down below. Make sure you are subbed here. I kind of pivoted a few points over the course of the show because, stuff's starting to move in real time here. But one thing that I like quite a bit tonight in the Seahawks and 49ers game is a player prop. And I'm going to play Colby Parkinson over on receiving yards. It's a very low number in market right now at 5.5. Typically, Colby Parkinson, if you're going to look at the depth chart, he'd be listed as the 3rd tight end on the Seattle Seahawks, behind Noah Fant, behind Will Dissly. But if we actually look at Colby Parkinson in terms of snap counts, in terms of targets, there's a pretty equal share between all these tight ends. Noah Fant's played 346 snaps this year. Colby Parkinson's played 307. A lot more than Will Dissly as well. If we look at specific team targets, you'd probably be surprised to see Colby Parkinson only trails Noah Fant by 4 targets. There's only been 2 games this season where Colby Parkinson wasn't targeted. As good as the 49ers defense has been this season, they actually do give up a lot of targets to tight ends and a lot of receiving yardage to tight ends. It's been an area where they've been exposed this year in a game as well, where you're likely to see Seattle trailing a lot. Based off of the point spread, you get more passing looks as well, especially to the tight end over the middle of the field. That's a safety valve for Geno. So I'm going to go with Colby Parkinson over 5.5 receiving yards, widely available in market right now just kind of need that one catch. Just give me that one catch. Just give me that one catch. Steven wants me to cook a player prop parlay across the 3 games. I'm actually going to take Johnny's 3 first touchdown bets and throw them in a parlay right after this show. $20 will pay you like 800, 900K. It ain't going to win, but it's something to root for. In terms of other things that I was looking at over the course of the day, if I like just randomly throwing some stuff out there, don't know what the current numbers are, but other things that I considered. So let me just quickly sort this by team. In the Cowboys game, kind of like Jake Ferguson a little bit in the receptions, but I didn't see anything that truly stood out to me on the Dallas side of things. For Washington, I had considered Logan Thomas under on receiving yards. The concern would be the game gets like super out of hand, and then he's going to be on the field the whole time. But those were a couple things. I mentioned Seattle, Colby Parkinson. That was the look for me there. Almost wanted to play Elijah Mitchell under on rushing yards for the 49ers. He's got over the past couple weeks, but he's still not getting much run. Got 4 carries a week ago. So I think he's still a little bit overpriced in the market. In terms of Green Bay and Detroit, not a whole lot for Green Bay. Closest I came to anything was Romeo Doubs under in receiving yards. Same for Detroit. Just not a lot that I really liked in that game from a props perspective. So that's just a full summary on those. But as a reminder to everyone, said it off the top, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, to all my American friends. For those of you without Pinnacle accounts in Canada, make sure you sign up for Pinnacle. Great sportsbook. Help support us by supporting Pinnacle. You won't regret it. Really good odds. They're all around. Very solid sportsbook. Recap really quickly. Top to bottom. Johnny likes David Montgomery under 1.5 receptions. G-Stack George. Commanders plus 13.5. ClevTA. Commanders and Cowboys over 48.5. Eric Eager. Jordan Love. No interception. Jordan Love, no interception. Clive Bixby. San Fran team total over 26.5. Suuma teasing the Detroit Lions with the San Francisco 49ers. Knish, play the Lions anyway. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Myself, Colby Parkinson, over 5.5 receiving yards. Producer Jason didn't really give out the Tucker Kraft stuff, but he's rooting for Tucker Kraft first TD in the game at a big long shot price. And he's also rooting for Ben Sims at a big long shot price and hedging some bets with some late touchdown scores there in those games as well. Appreciate everyone who tuned in today. Like I said, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. I'm back here tonight if you'd like to join me. 8 p.m. Eastern time, 49ers and Seahawks live watch along with Ian McMillan, Jeff Feinberg, Eric Eager, G-Stack George. Come join me if you're not doing anything tonight. We have a blast doing these. We talk some football. We talk some non-football. Basically a party. For those of you who've been here before, you know the drill. For those of you who are new here, come join us. Check it out. Any point in the night, come check it out. You'll have a blast. For myself, Rob Pizzola, for all the guests that joined us here today, and for my producer, Jason Cooper. This has been Forward Progress, Best Bets, Thanksgiving edition. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. I'll catch everyone back here tonight. Peace out.